Hey guys, welcome to another day with Zimaleta. In today's video, I want to show you my version of a hot tank. In this case, it's pretty much a cold tank. The only time it was actually hot when I had these parts in here, which I'm getting ready to show you, was for maybe like 6 hours. And then I decided not to waste my propane and try to come up with a better system. All right, guys, let's take a look at my intake manifold from a 3.0 liter diesel. I just put this thing in here and basically I got the flame going. I'm gonna leave it overnight and we're gonna see what happens, if it's actually going to get cleaner or not. So I got both of them hooked up to these straps here. Look at all that carbon. So I'm actually hoping to, you know, get all this stuff to boil out of here. So this is aluminum, so we're doing a hot tank, DIY hot tank, and I guess we'll see how this is gonna work, because you know, everything's doing pretty good. So check this out, guys. We got the flame going nice and strong in there. I guess I could probably put it to reflect a little bit more. So it's heating it up. As you can see, the drum is sweating a little bit. We have placed sand in the corners so that the flames do not escape. So the flames are very concentrated. Guys, trying to fine-tune everything, you know, it's one of those things. It's trial and error, because you know, this torch comes already kind of bent, but with this type of setup, there's only so much room to actually bend it towards the drum. So with a little bit of sand, it's actually helping it, keeping it kind of steady. So right now it's perfect, and these two cinder blocks are holding the torch from actually dropping to the left or to the right in case there's any animals that's going to come around at night and they're going to do something. So we got everything set up kind of like in a safe place. We wanted to make sure the propane tank stays slightly away from the drum. We got this nice and tight. There's no leakage. The propane tank is actually open all the way. You want to actually open it up all the way, because there's a seal, and when you open it up all the way, it prevents a leak in that area. One thing I'm surprised, there's no I guess gas control, like that filter thing. I forgot the name of it right now, but anyways, as you can see, it is starting to warm up now. Starting to see all kinds of crumbles. I think this is going to look a lot better in the morning. This is a brand new tank. I refilled it and now I'm actually using it, so I'm actually wondering how long is this actually going to last, because right now it's nighttime and we'll see in the morning if this flame is actually still going or what. So, you know, it's one of those things. So guys, I got my DIY hot tank here. I had like a gas type of heater heating it up, but I decided to upgrade to a little unit like this. It's kind of like what it looks like. Model, I guess K253. 300 Fahrenheit, 120 volt AC, 60 hertz, 180 watts. This right now is actually becoming very hot. It is magnetic, so when you place it on the surface, it actually should heat it up. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but I'm hoping that eventually it's going to get all this water to a boil. So I'm setting it up. I will check this in maybe like 4 hours. I'm gonna see what the temperature's like, because right now the temperature is just regular, and as you can see, lots of grease in there. Now I'm gonna show you what the part looks like so far after it's been basically cooking. As you can see, still plenty of carbon. Like, I mean, that stuff is, you know, pretty heavy, but it's starting to look a lot cleaner than it was. This is after leaving it like boiling, or just at least on hot, for about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that. And then I came here and I decided to remove my propane torch because I'm wasting a lot of propane. I don't want to come to an empty tank. It's going to cost me 50 bucks. So I'm thinking this method hopefully should work pretty good. I could actually hear, I mean, I could smell how it smells right now. It might actually cook some of this paint away, but I could actually smell it. It's starting to get quite warm. Like, this plastic is not warm, but I think it's the same type of idea as an iron. So eventually it's going to get real hot, but it is magnetic, which is kind of cool. So if you remove it, you know, it just removes like that and attaches. I have other ideas as well. My other idea is basically would need to be implemented before you even attempt to put any liquid in here, but it's to drill a couple holes, like one over here, one over there, and connect like an actual instant water heater to it, so where I could take this water and dump it back in there. So eventually I'm going to get something like that going. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough pressure from the water being pressed down to actually create like a self type of flow, but I would have to kind of like work that out. So possibly a future type of invention, but I think this is going to kind of work. There's also other type of heaters where you could actually install at the bottom, which is kind of like a regular water heater type of thing. So that actually might work, but live and learn, I guess. Which I'm still working on it. But I have another idea that I want to share with you guys, and that depends on what I find right now. So I'm gonna take a look at it for today to see how well these parts have cleaned up. So I could see that a lot of carbon has gotten cleaned up, except there's still a lot of carbon remaining on the inside. I don't know if you can see that. Then I have this other portion right here. Wow, it's a lot better than it was. As a matter of fact, guys, last time when I actually opened this, there was still lots of buildup in these areas where swirl valves open up and they close. And even though I haven't really done nothing else, I just basically left them in a bucket for several weeks, to be honest. It sort of cleaned up itself, but I think there's a better way of actually doing it. One of them is using gloves, which I always do stuff on a whim and forget to wear gloves. But anyways, the idea that I want to share with you guys today is basically sort of like turning this into almost kind of like a supersonic cleaning machine. Like my brother has one for like 15 grand that cleans up parts. And of course this one, a drum cost me $10. There's about $50 in fluids here. That's about it. And basically water is free. That's the only stuff that I use. Now if you try to use propane to heat it up, you know, that's going to be like another cost that you're going to be in, that you will incur, which is, I'm sure, absolutely fine to a lot of you guys. You will just stick a propane torch underneath like I have, which I will show you guys in this video what I've been doing, and that's gonna work just fine. But when you have an ultrasonic machine, there's actually sound waves that travel and they're cleaning enough parts by vibrating them. But I have an idea. What if I use a concrete vibrator here, which will vibrate the water, ultimately resulting in a similar type of situation, because the water will vibrate and then causing the parts to be much cleaner. Because here's what it's lacking. Like whenever these cleaners, they start going to work, they will probably clean regardless whether it's hot or cold. Of course, hot is better. But there's nothing really doing a washing action like that you could, like, you know, use like if you're using applying a brush or something. And that's, you know, where ultrasonics comes into play. It vibrates everything off and then the part becomes ultimately very clean because sound waves are cleaning it. So I'm hoping to achieve the same type of effect by using a vibrator. So without no further ado, let's check it out. I'm gonna try to bring one here and we'll go to town. So guys, here I have a metal metal, concrete vibrator. I've gotten this a while ago, and let's see how deep it goes. Perfect. This is where it stops. Like this could be very amazing. So it's definitely long enough for a 55-gallon drum. So let's turn it on. I'm not sure if it's doing a vibrating action. There it goes. Want to make sure I'm not going to hit the parts. So the parts are fine. They're on the sides. One thing about this is, like, when you turn it on, you have to kind of hit it up against the ground and then it starts vibrating. So like right now it doesn't do anything. Now it does. Maybe that's long enough, maybe it's not, but I know one thing is I'll have to pull this out in order to do any inspections. Because if this electronic falls in there, that's going to be like suicide by this thing, because you know how the blow dryers could fall into the bathtub. But anyways, I'm going to inspect the inside and see the inside. I know it's very hard for you guys to see, but it looks exactly the same to me. One of the biggest differences that I would have been able to tell is to see if this is actually clean or dirty, and there's actually still some dirt over here like that. Like you could kind of see the buildup. So this method would work to kind of like, to shake off, some of the stuff that's kind of like on the very top, but trying to get the inside portion of the clean, it's really not gonna do that much of a, good job, but it's a lot better than nothing because it is vibrating the water, and you would have to think that some of the stuff is making its way inside. If you guys have any ideas like how to make an ultrasonic type of a cleaner on the cheap, like let me know. Perhaps attaching a subwoofer speaker, maybe turning it facing the actual bottle, maybe making that area on the drum kind of like flat, and using like one of those subwoofers that you would have like for the computer type of setup, and just like a subwoofer alone. You probably have one lying around somewhere because maybe your speakers went out, but that subwoofer is still good. So maybe this could be a second type of use, is basically using it to vibrate this drum. Another way to do it would probably be flipping if you see my setup and you see this is on the blocks, there's a whole square remaining. Like you could almost flip the sub on its back so it faces the bottom, and then it's gonna send all the side waves, all the sound waves from the bottom to the top. I think actually that would work. And another method I think would work, that's like my ideas, is having some kind of lid here and installing a speaker right in the lid and then turning it on. So to basically have that work along with the heat. So the heat would be maybe working from the bottom, the speaker would be working from the top. Just a few like little ideas. But guys, I'll tell you one thing is, these things, these are intake manifolds. They were extremely dirty, guys. Like they were like horrendous, when I actually put them in here. So now they're a lot better than they were, and I'm pretty pleased with the results. So the next step is I'm going to bring him into the parts washer, which is a separate type of setup that I have from Harbor Tools and Freight. And I could just basically wash this in the parts washer. But I think, you know, for the top, at least, you know, parts washer is gonna work great. But pressure washer is probably what I really need to do. So I'll just stick this over here, and I'll go ahead and remove the other one off camera, guys. But for that other stuff, you know, I'm gonna show it like in another video, because this I particularly wanted to kind of show like my setup and like what I'm doing and stuff like that. And I think I have mentioned that, because one of the things that I was constantly pondering about, I'm thinking, yeah, the speaker idea would probably work, like a subwoofer. But I'm thinking I do have a concrete vibrator, which is supposed to get rid of all the air bubbles from the concrete. Like I'm thinking, look, if it's powerful enough to work for the concrete, would it be maybe enough, you know, to do this type of job? I don't know if we will achieve the results that we were looking for with it, but I am happy with what I did get. You know, the water was vibrating, like I could clearly see that. So perhaps that was enough action. And I only did it for a little bit, guys. Like, you're not gonna really magically clean stuff like really fast. I think we would need to do it for at least 15 minutes, and in 15 minutes we would need to see the before and after type of like parts. But in this type of situation, the parts is already bathed in here for a while. A lot of the stuff already kind of like naturally bathed off, and I think that further tests need to be done, maybe with more parts, and then see kind of like what happens after I, you know, put the parts in. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.